Let us keep in mind while I'm doing this, I am not a chef and I'm not a baker. I just play one on YouTube. Come on. This is the Zachme 8.4 quart stand mixer. Why did they send this to me? Honestly, guys, I don't know why they sent it to me. I really don't. I've never, ever baked anything in my entire life that did not come out of a box. But yes, I made this bread right here. It was actually supposed to be bread, but Rosie wanted to have sandwiches, so we decided to split the dough into 3 and make little hoagie rolls out of them. Now, they're a little misshapen and they're a little heavy because it's obviously a bread recipe, but the house smells wonderful. And this right here is new to me. It's something totally different from anything I've ever done. I've used a stand mixer once in my life, and I think I made cookies in it just because I wanted to see how it worked. But this is actually really, really cool. It is rated as a commercial stand mixer, and it comes with a lot of stuff, and we're gonna go over every single bit of that. But right now, we're gonna have a sandwich. I noticed something about my bread rolls here. This is what happens when you don't press it together enough. But it was my first try, so we're gonna cut into this just to see how good I did. I'm nervous. I'm actually gonna make a sandwich out of this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. All right, so we're gonna actually make a sandwich. I'll be right back. Next time we'll stick with the actual bread route that we were going. It smells wonderful. So we're gonna take a bite of this. It's very bready because it's bread. It's not a roll, so you gotta eat through a lot of bread, but it's a good flavor. I'm talking to the camera, bozo. It's literally like biting through a loaf of bread to get to the sandwich, but it has a really, really good flavor for the bread. So that's the first time I ever made bread. Next time I'll just do the loaf. That was cool though, it was fun to do this. This stand mixer really surprised me because 1, I'm not used to using tools like this, and 2, it just, everything about it made it so much easier to do what I was trying to do, other than clean the mess when I was done. But I think one of my favorite features on it, believe it or not, is not the bowl light, but it's the timer. And I didn't know that a lot of these don't even have timers on them. But when you start mixing, the timer comes on. And basically you're gauging your time at how long you're using the mixer, or you can set a timer and the mixer itself will shut off when that time limit ends. Also, there are directions printed right on the side of the mixer. Dough hydration, at least 55%, and it tells you the max flour, 1,800 grams, 55% water, max dough weight with added ingredients, 3.5 kilograms. What is that, 8 pounds? Do not exceed speed 3 when kneading dough. I never exceeded speed 2. And then there's all the attachments that go with it. Stainless steel bowl, 8.4 quarts, stainless steel attachments. My dough hook is caught up in my whisk. We'll pull it out together. Rosie says the cup on the top makes it hard to pour ingredients in while it's mixing, because some of the other stand mixers have a chute where you can pour ingredients in. This is adjustable. You can loosen this nut, slide it up, and then slide that up a little bit to make it a little bit easier. I didn't have an issue with it, but I was only using 1/4 cup at a time when I was adding flour to it. But the whisk and this massive dough hook. And then I think this is a beater or a mixer. I don't know what it's called. Again, I'm not a baker. But these are the 3 attachments it comes with. But there's a wide variety of attachments you can order with it that connect up here at the top. And I know most of you that use these things know what I'm talking about, but some of us don't. I know there's something you can do noodles with. You can buy a grater, and there's one other attachment. I can't remember what it was, but you can go on their website and check out all the attachments. You have to buy them separately, of course, but you have that option. Again, I'm a total beginner at this, so reviewing a stand mixer is just not up my alley, but I am glad we got it, and I had a lot of fun using it. Instead of rambling about it this whole time, why don't I show you how I used it today, And then when I come back, I'll show you the other things I like about it. We got the Zachme set up. I have all my ingredients right here. I have the flour, I have the sugar, I have the milk, I have the butter, I have salt, I have yeast, and I have 2 eggs. We're gonna make some bread. Have I ever made bread before? No, I have not. Never, ever. And I do have to prepare a couple items here. So I gotta warm the milk up. So we're gonna put it in the microwave for about a minute. And get that nice and warm. And then I gotta melt the butter, and then we're gonna start adding the ingredients in here. I'm gonna put the dough hook on, and we're gonna go from there. Just in case you might think that I actually know what I'm doing and I'm acting, I'm not. Here's the list of ingredients and how they go in, what order they go in. It's like literally on a piece of paper. This is gonna be interesting, if anything. I've watched a lot of reviews on this, and what I haven't seen, and I haven't watched all the reviews, is anybody actually make the stuff, add the ingredients. They usually just show shots of the mixer going and things happening and scraping and all that stuff. Well, I don't even know how all that applies to what I'm doing. I'm literally winging it right now, but if I can do it and this helps you do these things, then why not? Plus, I thought it was cool, and I thought Rosie would love to have one in the kitchen, even though I have another one over there. This one's a lot bigger. You can do a lot more with this. All right, everything's ready. Let's scoot this over just a little bit right here so that I can get in here and put the dough hook on. Gotta unlock the mixer right here, flip it up. Everything's been cleaned. Rosie watched it, and I kind of wiped it down so it would look better on the video. Dough hook is on. We're gonna add first ingredient. We're gonna add in our milk. Next, we're going to add in our sugar. After that, we're gonna add in our yeast. Now, this isn't a recipe video. This is me learning how to use a stand mixer. After the yeast, we're gonna add in our, I'll make sure it's not too hot, our melted butter, which was a 1/4 cup of melted butter, 3/4 cup of milk. I think it was a teaspoon of yeast. After the butter goes in, 2 eggs. I noticed that she scraped out like every single bit of butter with a little rubber spatula thing, so I'm gonna make sure I do that. And full disclosure, I found a recipe that I could follow, and that's what I'm doing. And then after the butter goes, or after the eggs, goes the flour. 3 cups of flour. And then she said, your last ingredient is the salt, and to put that on top of the flour, and it's a 1.5 teaspoons. There's that. Then we're gonna close down our mixer. To unlock, push that down, and then she just put it on the first notch to start the mix. I feel like everything is where it goes. We'll go 1. Is this 1? There's 1. That's the low gear, and we're mixing away. She did that for about a minute, I believe is what she said. So we're gonna let this mix for about 2 minutes, according to what my directions say. And then we're gonna get a good look at it and see if I have to add any more flour or water. It's only been in there about 1 minute. And yes, we do have the bowl light. So I guess if you're baking in the dark, you can see what you're doing. I told you. I told you. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, that smells really good. It's just in there and it smells good. I get that yeast smell that you get when you go by like a Wonder Bread or those places that actually bake bread, like a bakery. That's what they're called, bakeries, dummy. I'm kind of excited about this. This might be good. Homemade bread makes the best sandwiches. Actually, we've been mixing for about 3 minutes, it looks like. I didn't even notice that was probably on 0 when I started. And like she said, it's looking a little wet. So we're gonna add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of flour to dry that up a little bit because it's really sticking to the bottom of the mixer still. So I went ahead and grabbed a 1/4 cup of flour. We're gonna go ahead and dump that in there and see what happens. See if it helps it pull away from the bottom of the bowl. And then I'm gonna have to get in there with a spatula and probably push it off the edges here in just a second. I love this. I love that every time I turn it off, the timer resets, so I know exactly how long to go because, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going off of this girl who I found who's actually reviewed this herself, I believe. And I'll link her channel in the description so you can get this bread recipe for yourself. I'm not taking credit for nothing. And if it works out good, then she's a genius. Okay, I've actually had to drop flour in a couple times because my dough is just too wet and sticky. So now I'm gonna go ahead and let it knead in here for about 6 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and cover it for about an hour and let it rise. Look at that. Look at that. We've been going about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And look how it's pulled away. Oh, it looks good. It looks good. It smells wonderful. One thing that you should pay attention to is that the Zachme is super quiet. I have a KitchenAid over there, and it is really loud when it is turned on. And Rosie has another one that is also very loud when it's turned on. And this is up on mode 2, level 2. Again, not a baker, don't know. Also, this is approved for commercial use. And it's a big boy, 8.5 quart stand mixer. Obviously overkill for the bread, but it is what it is. I could double or triple the recipe and make 2 or 3 loaves of bread. But the bread process takes forever because when I'm done here, it's got to sit here. It's got to sit on the counter with a hot towel over the top of it, or warm moist towel over the top of it for about an hour, so it'll rise. All right, it's been going a little over 6 minutes. Let's get a look at our dough. Pull this out of here. Pull it off the dough hook. Get our dough out of here. Now, said a little sticky's a better way to get the bread, and she also said you don't really want it to rise 2 times the amount that everybody tells you. Maybe it's for this particular recipe. So I'm gonna drop it back in here. It's nice and sticky. You can pull it apart. It's nice and stretchy. We're gonna go ahead and drop it back in the mixing bowl. I'm gonna cover it up for about an hour with a nice warm wet rag. And we'll see how much it rises after that. Snowman's. Okay, so while the snowman give my roll of dough a nice big hug for an hour, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this mess. And we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, so it took a little while longer than an hour to rise. It wasn't rising at all because it was probably cold in my house. They turned the air conditioner on and the towel got cold, so it didn't rise really good right away. But I took it outside and let it sit outside for a little bit. And now we've risen. We haven't risen a lot, but we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. And instead of making a loaf, Rosie asked if we could try to make hoagie rolls out of this, so we're gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna cut it up, we're gonna roll it out, and I'm gonna put on some parchment paper, and I'm gonna let it rise on the parchment paper for about a half an hour to an hour, and then we're gonna bake it. I honestly really don't know if this is gonna work at all, but we're gonna give it a shot. This might not be designed for this kind of bread dough. So we're gonna put it out like she did, and we're gonna flatten it out all really good. Get all the air bubbles out of it, like she said. And I'm gonna cut this into 3. And then I'm gonna roll those out and see what we get. I don't have a fancy bread cutter or dough cutter like everybody else has, so I'm trying to figure out where I want to slice this. So we're gonna slice this here like this. And give myself some lines. And I hope that these are gonna rise again. I don't think they are. I think this is a mistake, but what do I know? We're gonna have breadsticks, if anything. Put that under there like that, like that. We're gonna pinch all these edges together. We're gonna do one. We're gonna pinch all this together. All the edges, all the ends. And if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. It just means that I got more practice to do. I got more practice as a baker. This is the first time I've ever tried to bake anything in my entire life on my own that didn't come in a box ready for you to bake it. I don't typically get lucky in these things because these look really small to me, but they might poof. But I'm gonna give them like an hour to rise on the other pan. I'll let you know if they rose. These look like they're already rising. Rosie just popped these out of the oven, and I tried to do one of those artistic little slices on them. I didn't cut it deep enough. But this was supposed to be a loaf of bread, and I didn't think they were gonna turn into this. Holy cow, they turned into nice, thick, oh God, they're hot. But they're more like bread though, because they're so heavy. These are really heavy. So, they're as big, if not bigger, than, these are the hoagie rolls we bought. Look, they're the same size. Only problem is, one of these, there's 2 rolls in here. One of these weighs 3 times as much as this. Oh. So they're gonna be really bready because this is supposed to be a loaf of bread and we wanted to turn them into hoagie rolls. But I think I did a pretty good job for my first try. It smells a lovely smell. Mm-hmm. Oh yes. It smells so good. So we're gonna let it cool off right here. And actually, where's the butter? Real quick while they're hot, we're gonna do a little butter rub on the top of them. And then I'm gonna cover them up with a towel and let them cool down. But I wanna take them off of the hot oven to do that. So I will let these cool down for a little while, probably a half hour or so, and we're gonna have sandwiches. What a crazy day that was, but I'm sure I'll get better at it, and I do plan on using it more often, but this right here was my biggest surprise, because when I put the dough in and started mixing, I knew that I had to mix it for so long and then check it and then do this and do that. And I forgot when I had put it in and started it until I looked over and saw that the timer was going. Now you can adjust this to go and then go to 1 and turn it on. And I want you to notice, and I went ahead and put the dough hook inside there. I want you to notice how absolutely silent this is. I have it on 6. And it is absolutely silent. I mean, everything makes noise. And here's the other cool thing about it. This thing has suction cups on it. It does not wander all over the counter. It sticks down and does not move. Because when I pick it up, you hear it when it comes off the counter. So in 22 seconds, it should shut off. Speed up. That is awesome. And it beeps to warn you. And it's done. It is shut off. And apparently this is a big deal, and I didn't realize it was such a big deal till Rosie talked about it. It has, and you'll have to forgive the magazine, I'm blocking the sun outside, but it has a bowl light. I guess that's a big deal when you're mixing at night. I don't know, but it does light the bowl up pretty bright. I think on the next video, I'm gonna go ahead and make some cookies. And this is the beater we'll be making some cookies with. Now, the only complaint I heard from other people is it doesn't have the rubber on it to clean the sides of the bowl, so you have to use a squeegee, one of those little squeegee things to get the sides of the bowl clean. So I'll go ahead and order one of those. I saw it online, it's like $19 to get this with the rubber squeegee already on it. And then this right here, stiff peaks, make some whipped cream, make some butter. I think Rosie's gonna make some butter for us. And there it is with the light off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on so you can see the bowl illuminate with the lights. I really never paid attention to that. There it is. Wow. I never would have thought. That's cool. There you go. Vroom a zoom zoom. One other feature to mention would be the cooling fan that's built in that you hear kick on right when you start mixing to stop the motor from overheating. That is a great, great feature on any appliance. I thought there were only 6 speeds. There are 11. And then of course the 8.4 quart stainless steel bowl with handles. I could be one of those guys from Spaceballs. Or Battlestar Galactica. By your command. Now I gotta wash it. Or do I? I pack everything in the bowl when I'm done. Close it down. Rosie will probably use it more than me, but there are some videos I'm gonna make with it just because I have fun ideas. At least I think they're fun. We'll see. The Zachme 8.4 quart commercial stand mixer. 800 watts with aluminum die cast, meets the standards of NSF and ANSI, which is ANSI. Stainless steel 8-liter bowl, dough hook, whisk, and beater. All right, as far as the stand mixer goes, I freaking love it, but I don't know a lot about stand mixers because I only had one other one, and like I said, I only used it one time. I know that this thing is really, really quiet. It is very heavy, so put it in a spot where you don't have to move it so much. And it, like I said, it does have a suction cup to keep it attached to the counter when you're mixing. And I think the only gripe Rosie had about it was it doesn't have a, well, she had 2 gripes. One was it didn't have a chute to pour stuff in, and I didn't see that as an attachment. And those covers on the top, they have a tendency to get in the way if you want to dump anything in when you're trying to add while it's mixing. Other than that, did you have any other gripes?
No, not at all.
No, it was, for someone who's never ever used one before, it was very, very simple to use. Like I said, I plan on making like a huge batch of cookies here in the future. I wanted to take a stab at making my very first loaf of bread, which ended up turning into hoagie rolls. But it really should have just stayed bread because it ended up being heavy and tasting like bread. Which, I mean, I know a sandwich bread is supposed to taste like bread, but it's not supposed to be that dense. And of course, I made mistakes and had a problem getting it to rise and everything. None of that you saw on camera, but I did finally get it to rise. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it was a little dense. But it still had good flavor. But other than that, I don't know why Zachme reached out to me to do this. I'm glad they did because I love it and it's something that we can use in the kitchen. And I want to thank them for reaching out. There will be codes in the description of the video for you guys to check out. If there's a coupon code down there, that's where you'll find it. Make sure you click those links to go check this mixer out on their Amazon page, I believe it is. And again, Zachme, thanks for sending it out, and I'll see you guys on the next baking video.